As the weekend once again graces us with this presence, we are faced with a dilemma. What is Bitcoin and crypto going to do? Is Bitcoin going to rally, or are we going to go sideways again this weekend and have to depend on next week for that answer? Today, I want to quickly go over tracking Bitcoin. We also want to take a look at total market cap, Bitcoin dominance, and the DXY, the dollar, because that will give us clues of what we can expect. But what I am foreseeing is most likely a sideways action this weekend for Bitcoin with a possible little uplift, which will be good for our crypto market. So we could expect some altcoin prices to rally over the weekend, possibly for just a short term. Now, I think we're getting ready to the top of the zone and start trimming down a little bit. And let me break this down for you today. Road Dog Crypto. Welcome back to Road Dog Crypto. My name is Lane, your crypto road dog. And not too long ago, I put out a training video, and we actually did cover Bitcoin in it because it made this pattern right here, and that is called a symmetrical triangle. Now, in this video, I was talking about how I like to deal with these. I like to extend these lines out to give me probabilities or better chances of understanding what the price action may do. Granted, this does not happen all the time for me, but I said if we got up here to this level and if we were not to hold this trend line right here, we would break down and we would come down and probably just follow this other one for a little bit before we break to the upside. And as you can see from my charts right here, that's what we did. We rode that trend line up, we broke down below it, rode this one down, and now we're coming right back up to basically the areas that we were talking about in that training video. So guys, if you're looking to learn how to do what we do here on this channel, I have a free chart school playlist, and I go over and break each step down that I do to analyze the charts so that you can learn this for free. And what better way to spend this bear market craziness than learning how to do technical analysis so that you can see the probabilities that will work in your favor when it comes to trading and investing. So let me just quickly go through what I see that Bitcoin will be doing this weekend. As you can see, we are in a rising channel. Now that does have a tendency to break to the downside if we come back down to these lower levels and they do not hold. We could see lower action come down to the bottom. We could be looking on maybe a double bottom scenario, but that hasn't happened yet, so nothing to worry about yet. Where we are right now is we're coming back down to this area, which is along this trend line here. There are several signs other than this, the trend line that I got marked out here, that's kind of pointing that we may get a little bit of a bounce there. The question is this going to be a strong bounce that will just start going up? I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing those signs. When I'm looking at our larger indicators, it's showing some sideways movement. So we may stick around here. And the biggest reason that I'm looking at this, the biggest clue that I've got that we have sideways action and possibly some downward action, is that we broke market structure right here. This line right here is very important. And if we go back into the charts and I draw another line right here indicating market structure, now you can see where we broke that. That's the signal, hey, a trend is reversing here. We'll get some sideways or downward action, and it took it a long time to play out. It went sideways, then we got the drop. We could potentially be seeing that happen here over this next week or so. When you break market structure like this, you could also rally and come back up to the top of this and retest this trend line area. That would be retesting maybe this area up here with this blue line and this white line. That could happen over this weekend, and that's not a bad thing, but if that does happen, we're looking at a double top scenario, which would drive us back down toward the bottom of this trend line, which may lead to either up action or down action, or we will be gradually coming up to retest these top areas over the weekend. May get a rally, people may get excited, but there we're looking at coming down. This area is also at this 200 EMA area on the 4 hour. So price does have a tendency to go up to that area, especially if we are above this white line, which is the 100. That very likely could happen, that we do come up to these areas about 17,400 before getting rejected and coming back down to the areas we're at now, right around 16,900, 1,700, to see if that holds. If that holds, we may again have more upward action. If it doesn't, and I'm not anticipating that it does, it would be a repeat, something similar that we saw back here, and we would just come back down to the bottom of this trend line, and we would look to see if we hold that. Now, if we hold that, don't break through this Ichimoku cloud, we might have a chance to turn around. There may be a catch here at 16,491. At worst, I would be looking to coming back down to these lower areas about 16,200 to retest that. That did not hold. We would be looking at coming back down to this area, 15,914 in that area. So basically that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. But now let's take a look at the altcoins and see how that they may fare during all this.
For those of you who hit that like button down below, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, the first thing I want to look at before we actually take a look at total 2 market cap is I want to look at the Bitcoin dominance, because that is our key indicator for seeing how altcoins are going to perform over this weekend. And we can see that it's trying to go up. Bitcoin dominance is now in a much wider pattern. We fell from this falling wedge, which would bring us back down to this level, testing this level, and we've broken back above it. So this level at 40% has been holding pretty well. So the question is, are we getting an up rally, or is it going to get rejected? To travel within this pattern, if it does keep coming up to this area, and here is the 200, if we make it above that and hold it, altcoins are going to suffer, and we're looking at possibly forming a inverted head and shoulders, and that would bring Bitcoin dominance up here to these higher levels. Altcoins will hurt. However, what we need to look for this weekend is the possibility of getting rejected somewhere around here. And if we look at the pattern that we got forming currently, this pattern that is in is a bearish pattern. It does have a chance to break out to the downside. The important thing that we want to see, whether it goes up here, comes back down and breaks, or whether we actually break out through here, is that when price does break out of this and comes to the downside, the altcoins will rally. And if you see a break there, that would be a sign to take some kind of trade into an altcoin for profits as Bitcoin dominance comes down and those altcoin prices go up. One very bullish sign that I want to point out for altcoins is that on the total 2, and we've looked at this before, it has made a very large inverted head and shoulder pattern. Very, very bullish sign. Has a measured move that would take us up to about 532 billion, I believe this is. The bullish signs we got here is that we broke up above here. We got rejected off of this 200, and that's to be expected. Came back, bounced off this 100. This is kind of the same action I'm pointing out on Bitcoin. We got a good chance to bounce off of that same line on Bitcoin, but overall, altcoins are looking good. We got a retest of this support level right here, and signs just look golden for going up. We might get a hiccup back up here at this 200 EMA, about 492 million. Bust up through that. It looks like a mini altcoin season may possibly be on the way. If you see this break up above this 200 EMA and hold that area, that would be a good solid last chance to make a buy on altcoins. That would be a great time to get into altcoins to profit either from Bitcoin or from fiat. To me, the 4-hour chart is showing us that we do have good things coming for the altcoins. Be ready for that. Now, finally coming over to the DXY, the dollar indexes, and this is very important because when the dollar is going up, the stocks and crypto are hit, but when it's coming down, we get some rallies and get some relief. We were in a falling channel. They had a chance to break up to the upside. This one broke to the downside. That's great news for us. It does have a measured move, which takes us down to this area right here, which we have hit, which is also on another trend line. So what I'm saying here is that there's a chance that we can get a bounce here on DXY, and that will mean Bitcoin and even stocks suffer. We just got to keep an eye on that. It could also easily just keep on breaking through and coming lower. So it's just something that we have to keep an eye on because it does have an effect on crypto. And one thing worth noting, that if we take a look at the 4-hour right here, I mean, there's some divergence forming right here. It kind of indicates that, yeah, we may be coming back up on the dollar, and that may affect Bitcoin this weekend or over the next few days. And that may be what gives us that drop to the downside on Bitcoin. So guys, back here on Bitcoin again. So if the dollar continues up, we're looking at Bitcoin going sideways and definitely going down. However, if the dollar goes down, we could look for Bitcoin to go up more. And of course, and depending on what Bitcoin does, depends on what the alts do. If Bitcoin starts rallying high, altcoins are going to suffer. Total 2 has a very bullish pattern that we've already broken out of, suggesting that altcoins will go up. I expect Bitcoin to just kind of trade in a range. And overall, when we look at the symmetrical triangle pattern, all it does is just establish a much bigger trading range that we will be trading over time. So we can see prices go on up as high as 18,000, but we can also see them come back down easily to around the 15.5 again. This is a bear market. This is a trading range. Smart money will be having accumulation zone down here around 15,000 to 15,500. And also this is a pattern that will tend to break down if we come down to the downside around 16,700. Those areas have got to hold for Bitcoin for us to see some positive signs to continue in the market. One of the last things that I want to point out here is this area right here. This big green line that I've drawn right here is a support resistance flip that we're looking for. I expect us to come back down to this area. This is about 16,738, and this could be a range. It could come down as low as, let's just go ahead and put it right here because that's pretty much right smack dab in the middle, about 16.6, 16.5. I expect a retest of this, and that is in line with this lower trend line here. If we hold that, we're good, and we can look for some more upside for Bitcoin. If this line right here, 16.6, if we can't hold that, we're looking about 15.5. So it's all about the area that we are right now, and I do foresee sideways and then possibly down. Hope this has been helpful for you. Hope this helps you with your trading this weekend. Watch for that altcoin rally. I think it's coming. Until next time, my name is Lane, your crypto road dog, reminding you that you've got this and you are here at the best time to change your life in crypto. Catch you on the next one.
I don't always like videos, but when I do,
I always prefer Road Dog Crypto. Trade wisely, my friends.